All right, we're live, and by we, I mean me. No Brian today. He's having a long, long weekend. Uh, so you guys are stuck with just me. It's only fair, you know. Uh, for I think 2 times last week, I either had to leave early or one of the times I was just out because I was out filming at an event we were powering up. So Brian had to hold it down by himself. So now it's my turn. Prominence says morning. What's up, Prominence? Hope you're having. It is far from morning though, especially for you. Manny says, "Yo, all right, guys, y'all are already in here. Excellent." What is going on? No Brian today, just me. Bill says, "Yo, yo, what's going on, Bill? You guys have good Labor Day weekends?" Prominent says my notification finally worked. Nice. Did you hit that notification bell? Is that what did the trick? You guys didn't waste any time. You guys got in here right when we started. I'm going to keep saying we because I'm so used to it being me and Brian. But, you know, Brian's with me in spirit today. And he will be getting the text messages when people text in. I think that'll still be going to Brian. But he's just not here in the studio today. Installed 10 more solar panels yesterday. All right, that is how we spend our Labor Day, with labor. That's cool though. That's awesome. That honestly does sound like a nice way to spend the day. Evangelist says mine too. Finally notified. Windows popped up immediately. A notification worked like a charm. Man, you guys got all the noties right when I went live. That's cool. That's the true squad. There's no one else like you guys out there. That's crazy. I always tell Brian it's wild that there are some good folks like you guys out there just ready whenever we go live to jump in. Some dedication. Now, if we weren't battery themed though, would you still be watching? If we weren't doing the whole off-grid thing. Now, we're not going to change the theme of the streams because this is, it's our jobs. Prominence, we need your help. You are the boss here. Yeah, Prominence basically owns this stream. Did I see a new battery product or was I dreaming? Off-grid EV charger, not Komodo. We do have an off-grid EV charger, but that's not a new product. It's our EV supercharger. You can see it featured in some of our older content. It's almost looks, if you're seeing the one that I'm thinking of, it looks like almost like a gas station, like a kiosk that you'd have when you're filling up. So if it's that one, yeah, we've had that one for a little while. It's not really like super promoted on our website though. It's more so been something that we kind of do a little behind the scenes, business to business type stuff. Fallen Solar King in the chat. When can we expect another collab? Loving the JRE videos. Me too. I love those videos as well. Hopefully we can do another video with him. Yep. Big white 8-foot tall box. That's what they call me. Just kidding. No. Yeah, that's the one. That's the EV charger. We want to do more collabs with Jerry Rig Everything. Should be something that's in the works down the line. I can't definitively say that's going to happen yet, but he's expressed interest. We've expressed interest, so certainly could happen. And there is another YouTuber who will be dropping some Walrus content most likely in the next 3 or 4 days. He was actually going to post it over the weekend, but hit a delay over the Labor Day holiday due to some personal family things. But There is a Walrus review going up. Should collab EV charger with the YouTube channel Out of Spec? I haven't seen that channel. I'll have to check them out. Rasan, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. See you in text form. Good to see your paperclip profile picture. Fallen says, I was on the site earlier and it looks like the G3s are running out almost. Yeah, I actually don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's getting very low. I think we're down to like 9 or less G3s, and once that occurs, there won't be G3s for a while. Not sure if Kyle would go with that. I'm guessing Kyle's the out of spec guy. Bill says, I never see the main solar / battery channels cover you guys. I wonder if it's because they don't get affiliate money. Yeah, so the thing with that, we've talked to a lot of them. It's really just a matter of like managing our marketing budget. We have a certain, like any company, we have a certain amount of dollars that we have to operate within, and we are not necessarily as big or have as large of budgets as some of our competitors. So the Jerry Rig Everything collaboration was a really big swing for us, given that he has such a large audience of almost 10 million subscribers. That took a lot of time and effort and budget to make that collaboration happen. And some of the other channels out there, it depends case by case, but I mean, a lot of the times you get asks when we're in talks with them to like feature a product or do a video. It's like asks for flat fees that are kind of outside of our scope of budget for that quarter, so on and so forth. It kind of depends. There are some collaborations coming out though in the near future, so keep an eye out. They're not like the big ones. Jerry Rig Everything is probably the biggest one you're going to see us on for a little bit, but some of the more like boots on the ground type of guys who are out there just like homesteading and stuff, like you're going to see some Walrus content coming out. The guy who's posting this week has about 80,000 subscribers. I think his name is Tools Electro DIY. He's a tech reviewer who will be posting some Walrus content. Prominence says, yeah, how can I help? I'm cheap, LOL. Prominence, you have done like already so much for us that I don't even think that we could repay you at this point. You've sent us stuff in the mail. You're in every chat helping us answer questions. You've made your videos. I mean, gosh, what could I even say? Evangeline says, Prominence, I bought 12 black panels, 410 watts, trying to build a solar carport using solar panels as roof. I have a few questions. You can also ask me questions, but I do agree that Prominence is probably going to be more helpful on that one than me. Fallen says, can't forget the Minuteman solar overview. Yeah, Minuteman is great. I know a lot of you guys like his stuff as well. He did some great stuff for us with our materials. What list of electrical materials you used? Combiner box, not professional advice, but what is your suggestions? Manny says, who is manning the text phone number? That is a good question. I'm sure Brian is still getting notifications. I think he's out of town right now, so he's probably not personally responding today. It would be either Tommy or Nadine, who are two of our lovely folks who work here in the marketing department. I know that you guys all see Nadine's name every time you get one of the text messages, so you guys know who she is, but it'd be one of them. Manny says, sent you a new BatteryEVO related short. Let me check that out. Where did you send that to me? If it was on email, I'll have to go check. My emails have been so incredibly flooded lately that it's been hard for me to keep up. Yes, I have a combiner box. I'll make a video of my supplies later this week. That's a great video. I'll repost that one, Prominence. Get that one out there. Tried sending it here. Oh, I didn't see it here. Let me see. Let me scroll up in the chat, see if I missed it somewhere. Manny. First click thumbs up. Yo, yeah, no, I think maybe YouTube like kind of like auto blocks dropping links in here. But yeah, if you send it to me, here's an email. Just want to clean up a few things before I record it. Oh, I know how that is. Always got to get everything camera ready before you do any filming. Yep. It can be difficult sometimes because I work in, our facilities here, and the warehouse is very much like an active workspace with tons of guys, working on assembling and manufacturing the batteries to like moving them around for shipping and like handling different deliveries that are coming in. So it's like always so much going on and moving around down there. When I go to film, it can be challenging to get like the right clean look on camera that's not just capturing like hustle and bustle. I see. Got your email. I'm watching it right now, Manny. Nice. So is that your actual now the build up is fine. Is this your actual bill? Because if so, that's a huge difference between your time of day rates. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I see this from on August 28th. Thanks for sharing that. That's dope. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm explaining to people the time of use stuff all day long. You guys have probably heard me explain time of use so many times on this stream and in separate videos, because it's a thing that when a lot of people enter this market, they don't necessarily always already know about. So it's always good. We always try to educate on that one. But that's a really good example. Oh, excuse me. I'll probably pull up your video to show people when I talk about it sometimes, because it does just in that graph form really, at first glance, you can really tell the difference. Rasan says G4 Plus. If I set the profile for solar priority and the battery is full, will the inverter pass energy from the panels to load panel? And if solar is not producing enough, will load panel draw from battery? Yeah, so your battery's inverter will automatically adjust based on situations like that. So if your battery's full and you're still producing panel energy from your panels, that will bypass the battery and just go right back into your grid. That's why some people tend to get like expansion batteries or overtime and stuff, so that they can store all that energy and make more use of it. And likewise, if you were to, if your battery was to deplete, then you would automatically switch back over. The inverter is built to automatically adjust in all those kind of situations. If solar is not producing enough, will load. So I don't know if you can set a specific setting in the menu to adjust based on production of solar. I know that you can do it based on like your batteries, like percentages. Like you can set it to switch over at certain percentages. I don't know if it's based if there's a setting to be like, oh, when I'm not producing enough solar, switch. I don't actually know. I'd have to check. The marketing group chat is asking our engineer about your question too. But I don't think we need an engineer on this. I think I had that answer in my brain. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Thanks all of you guys for joining and liking so far. We're pretty early on. Prominence says, any update on the app? I haven't heard anything. Let me actually, it's been like a week or two since I've last heard an update on it myself. So let me actually, excuse me, I am so tired today. Let me message the people who would know. All right, time will tell. I have asked the question. I get that a lot, but I have set it to time of use all the time. Having an app that allows for dynamic changing ability would be nice. Yeah, definitely agree. I think that you should be able to make those adjustments on the app, and I'm hoping that that's part of what they're integrating. But I don't know for sure. That's been, we don't have any, gosh, somebody buy me a coffee. We don't have any in-house app developers, so that has been outsourced, and that is not a project that I'm supervising. So it is actually not something that I know all the details of, but I did just ask, so I'll let you know. Yeah, asking. They did say, I know that some people were having trouble downloading it in the past on like Android and stuff. They did just tell me that that has been fixed. You can actually download the app directly from the website. And they're saying, yes, we are still working on the updated SDK file. So the app is still being worked on, but they didn't give me an exact timeline. So Prominence, I was just about to answer that question. You jumped in for me though. It's about between a foot and a half to 2 feet long. So you'll wanna probably connect off of that as opposed to like running it out all the way. But yeah, it's about 18 to 24 inches, just like Prominence said. Prominence is the fastest draw in the West. Prominence beat me on that one. I was literally like opening up one of the spec sheets on my phone just to double check, because I was eyeballing it in my head, like imagining the length, because it's like about here. But I didn't want to say that and then not have it be accurate. I always try and double check before I say anything on here if I'm not entirely sure. What's up, buddy?
About the question about the T4.
Yeah.
The solar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to have the battery connected.
Mm-hmm.
Then that means it's like, so even the battery is full, you still like the solar power have to go through the battery pack and then to charge.
Yeah.
Run the load.
Got you.
And if the usage is higher, then it definitely going to cost the power from the
Back from the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Another grid is from the battery.
Yeah, got you. Is there like, so one of the questions that was asked, is there like a way to set it to charge and discharge based on how much solar production is happening? like if your panels are producing a certain amount of energy or not.
On inverter, you can see how much energy you're getting from solar.
But yeah, but can you like make adjustments to whether your battery's charging or discharging based on that number? Or no, it's just something you can just monitor.
You can see the charging current,
Mm-hmm.
and on each section, like grade or it has their own amperage on there.
Got it.
If I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah, so I think that's something that, to answer your guys' question, I think that's something that more so that you monitor as opposed to like something that you're using to base your charging and discharging schedule off of. Sardar, you want to co-host, buddy? I know you don't. I will definitely be messaging you throughout this, though. I'm sure there will be more questions that I need help with.
Okay,
Yeah, Prominence, you are in the East. Fastest draw in Alabama. I went to Florida State University, so we had a rivalry with Bama. I'm not a huge sports guy, though. It didn't really matter too much to me. But, you know, when in Rome. Anybody, Prominence told me that Prominence, you were telling me you did your panel install yesterday. Did anybody else do anything cool on Labor Day? Or just over the weekend in general? I slept like all day yesterday. Like, not even joking. Like, I got up from like maybe 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock and then just went back to sleep and was out for the majority of the day. I had been working really hard on a lot of various things lately, so it was needed. And Brian's getting a little getaway. He needed that as well. Are there any firmware updates scheduled for the Walrus itself? I don't believe so. Are you having any firmware issues with your Walrus that you would like to see addressed in a future update? If so, let me know. I can pass that along. Thank you guys for joining so far. If anybody's just joining the stream, welcome. My name's Nick. I'm streaming to you live from BatteryEVO, answering questions. A lot of the folks in the chat right now are returning viewers who come in often when we're live. We're just talking about walruses, off-grid systems, lithium batteries, things like that. So if you have any questions about BatteryEVO or how to go off-grid, maybe you're brand new to your solar journey and are looking for some advice, I can give you some advice. And we have some great folks in the chat today, such as Prominence and Mandy and Rasan, who all have experience and like talking about the off-grid life. So you can get a conversation going, ask a question, I'll answer it, and I'm sure these guys will jump in to chat with you too. And while I'm live, only while I'm live, I'm allowed to give you guys extra discounts on anything in the store. So as you know, yesterday was Labor Day. We have extended our Labor Day sale because we almost entirely sold out of G3s. We're going to extend that sale a little bit longer and just sell the remaining G3s this week. So Labor Day sale is extended through the end of the week on Friday. Great news because you can take like $2,000 off of your G3 that way, which is a huge deal. It's the lowest price we've had on this thing. And while I'm live streaming, you can get a little extra money off on top of that as a special live stream discount. But again, that's only while I'm live. You have to text in this number, 747-282-0538. That's the number at the bottom of your screen. Somebody from my team will respond to you and give you a custom quote. So if you're looking to save a little extra on top of an already good deal, that's the way to do it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably be repeating that little spiel a couple times this afternoon. Rasan says, I have some pics of the work I've been doing over here the past 4 days. Oh yeah, send them in. I dropped my email earlier in the chat if you want to send it there. Basically, if your panels are overproducing, I want to be able to change the priority in the app, and they are lagging. I want to change the priority accordingly. Set the message. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll copy paste that right now, and drop that for them to know. that is good feedback, and I do think that that would really up the convenience levels of using your Walrus, for sure. Because right now you can do that kind of stuff, but you have to go like manually go to your unit and do it on the touch screen on the inverter. But it'd be nice to not have to get up, for sure, or like in theory to be able to do it from, you know, the other room, the other, maybe even another building, just from a distance would definitely help. That is correct. The Manny says the app is for monitoring only and not changes. That is currently the functionality of the app. Correct. I 100% agree with you guys, though. I think you should be able to, just like you would with like a smart light bulb or something, I think you should be able to make those changes on the app. So hopefully that's one of the changes that are being integrated. Somebody texted in for a deal on a G4. I'm not answering those texts, though. That is, if you text in and get a response, it's not me. You will get a response. We have staff. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. Thanks to everybody who's joined so far. Been going, how long have I been going now? It's kind of weird doing this by myself. I just kind of am sitting here rambling alone, and sort of just the time's just going by. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've been going for almost 30 minutes already. Wow. I can see how many of you guys are in here right now versus in the past. Pretty average performance today. Rasan says, do it from work, for example. Exactly. Yeah, that would be much more convenient than only being able to monitor it, because that only gets you so far. Yeah, guys, the app, I'm glad they're updating it. I wish I could tell you more specifics on that, on what to expect from the update, but I honestly am not sure. I'm going to try and call some kind of meeting sometime, because you guys are asking about it enough that I feel like I should get briefed on it. Hi, can you choose how much amp you want to receive from portable generator during recharging? Yes, you can. You can adjust those parameters in the configuration menu on your Walrus. You just go into the touch screen and can adjust amp levels there. Good question. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. If you're new, my name's Nick. Just basically, these streams are like a live Q&A for BatteryEVO, so any questions you might have about any of our batteries, or if you're looking to acquire one, let me know. I can give you advice on going solar in general as well. We got some really smart folks in the chat here today who know a lot, even more than I do, about some of this stuff, so they can help you out as well. It's a really great resource to have smart people like Prominence and Manny and all the rest in the chat, Evangelist. +1 for the app. Yeah, I know, guys. I know, we gotta update that app. I have 3 hours of daylight left, and my unit is still 100%, and the solar input is at 2.01 kW. It's a good problem to have, but I don't want to lose that energy from the panels. Yeah, that makes sense. You could reroute it, or, I mean, depending on your budget and current ability to, I'd consider potentially getting an extension battery. Could you remind me, Rasan, do you have the G3 or G4 Walrus? Thanks for all the questions so far, guys. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. I don't really know what to do when I'm not answering questions right now, because usually that's where me and Brian would just start conversating about whatever, whatever it may be. Shooting the SHIT, if you will. G4 Plus. Yeah, so we have tons of G4 Plus extension batteries in stock if you ever want to go with an extension. Basically, any extension battery you get would be doubling up your capacity, which would be a great way to make sure that that power doesn't go to waste. The other benefit to that would be outage protection. If you do like lose power for an extended period of time, you have a whole extra battery's worth of storage ready to go. But I'm not here to upsell you. You already got a G4 Plus, just an option. If you do want to, you already know how it works. You can get. We'll make sure to hook you up. And in fact, if you do text in for something, just say, "Hey, this is Rasan. I'm a repeat viewer, and Nick said I get a special hookup." And I'll stand on that if you want it, because anybody who comes in here as often as you do, I try and make sure we give a little special treatment to, because you guys who jump in the chat every time are some loyal folks. What's the behind-the-scenes story behind powering a food truck with the Komodo? All right, cool. Yeah, so I can talk about this for a while. That'll keep me going. Good. So what you see behind me is an event that we powered up last week. We have some friends at a anamorphic lens company that's used for film production. They're called Atlas Lens Co. Just saw one of their lenses behind me. That's the CEO, Dan. Brian works with Dan, and Dan and I have become friends through meeting through Brian, and we've collaborated on a whole bunch of stuff. They've helped us with some of our ads, lending us film gear so that we can film nice looking things. And Dan has even worked with me on one of the ads, the fancier looking Komodo ad. That was his work. So Dan hit us up. And he said, we're holding this demo event out at one of the studios down here in Los Angeles. Basically, it was a joint event between Atlas and a company called Pixboom, which does slow motion cameras that can shoot 1,000 FPS at 4K and 2,000 FPS at 2K, which that's a whole lot of frames per second. So they were demoing that. They had big production lights, like that big high power light you see right there by Nanlux. They sponsored the event too. And Mr. Charlie's food truck, who's also a friend of Dan, came in and fed everybody for the afternoon, like all the attendees. There were several hundred attendees each day. It was a 2-day event, 8 hours long each day, who all needed food all day long. And Dan hit us up and he was like, guys, I really want to power this thing off the grid for a couple reasons. One, it saves them money on their event planning and the cost of operating. But two, he saw the opportunity for like cross promotion and working together on this. And we always love doing that where we can. So we sent out 2 Komodos to this event. And I'll tell you what we did with them in a second. I'm just going to check our chat first. Evangelist, can we have an SOC versus battery percentage for the G4 Plus, like state of charge 68 equals 86 volts? Not always correct the same. I'm not sure. Do you mean like the information that's being conveyed on the inverter or on the app? I'm not exactly sure how to answer that question. If you could elaborate a little bit on that, let me know. I'll try to help you out. But anyway, yeah, so we had 2 Komodos. One was for powering up all the film equipment and lights for the 2 days, and the other was for powering the food truck for the 2 days. And both of those had unique challenges because there was problem solving to do for both on the day. I mean, anytime you go out, if anybody's worked construction or like any film shoot, you go out, you get on site, and you realize that you got problems to solve. That's normal. So here's what I had to solve. I had reached out to our friends at Mr. Charlie's earlier in the week to try and get some information about their power hookups, and basically there was some confusion about what the correct power hookup would be. So when I showed up, I discovered that the wire that they have, and you can see it running behind Brian there, the wire that they have to power their food truck was not what I was expecting it to be. Usually mobile operations like that are compatible with generator port or with our 50 amp extension cable, and what they were using, it's about to show it, is a NEMA 520R, and I was not expecting that. That was a discovery on the morning of, and so there was some troubleshooting that had to occur. First, I door dashed a adapter from Home Depot to run that 520R into a 110 volt and try and run that at the Komodo, which worked for a little while, gave us a couple hours while I figured out the bigger needs, because once they started kicking on things like their AC and stuff, as you can imagine, that was too much for 110 volt. Before the need for that, we just used to keep the lights on and stuff while we were setting up. What I ended up finding was the adapter that you see in the final video that is a converter from that NEMA 520R to our NEMA 50 amp extension port. So that's how we ended up powering it. Just took a little trial and error and figuring out what the exact needs were for the truck. So if anybody has a food truck out there that they want to power that uses a NEMA 520R, there's adapters that switch you over to 50 amps, and that's what you want to use if you're going to power the Komodo. I know that's such a specific thing, but the guys at the food truck did end up wanting that adapter and asked for some recommendations on what to do. I think this might be an issue that they ran into in the past. Evangeline says, app and battery, sometimes I have 100 bat, but 96.6 volt. So basically you're saying there's inconsistencies between your battery and your app's information right now? If so, maybe there's a technical support rep who can help you out with that as far as seeing the communication that's happening there. And maybe there's some kind of update we can do to make sure that your app is getting accurate info. So, got it. Yeah, let me drop the customer support link, because that's something that I feel like somebody would probably want to walk you through. More so than what I would be able to do for you here. So let me send you that. Tell them Nick sent you. Bam. But yeah, sorry, I don't personally know how to fix that communication between the app and the battery. That's a little out of my knowledge. I'll send a message and let them know to expect that question. But yeah, so I explained how kind of our experience with the Komodo and the food truck. That's how you would get it up and running, you know, in that particular case. The second Komodo, which we used for all the film gear, that was a setup where we had everything we needed, and there was no fault of the Komodo at all. It was just that I had never personally done a configuration like that before. And I explain it in the video if you want like the full explanation. But basically, the high-end studio lights that get used on film productions don't use like standard electrical hookups. They use what's called Bates cables. So you need specific distribution boxes in order to plug those in. So I had to borrow a couple pieces of equipment from some grips and electricians that I know from previous projects, and kind of figure it out on the day how to get it working. We had to run two 50 amps out of the 2 ports on the side of the Komodo, so ran a total of 100 amps out of the unit up into the distro box that was basically, we had 2 of them, so one larger distro box and then the 2400 mini cam spider. We ran 100 amps into this larger one here, and then filtered that down into the smaller box, which has the Bates hookups for the lights, and then out into the lights. But there was a few different things that I needed to get right in order to make it work, where I had to do a little trial and error myself and actually get on FaceTime with one of the electricians who lent me the gear to be like, all right, what am I doing wrong? Because it was pretty specific. One little thing, for example, is that there's you use 3 lines. I show it. It's behind me. You use 3 lines with these kind of distro boxes. Typically, you see the black one there is not being used. That was on purpose. You're not with this particular setup. You don't want to have all your lines running. They didn't want that black one in. So one of the times I put that one in, and it didn't have any use or charge, so it ended up messing with the flow of power, and the light wouldn't turn on. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? So I had to unplug that. There's little things like that, but Komodo held it down for both days. I mean, they truly barely made a dent in the Komodo's capacity with the lights and stuff that they had. It could have gone another several days easily. The food truck, on the other hand, was a higher draw. I would say that the Komodo that was running the food truck was in need of a recharge by the end of the second day, for sure. But it didn't run out. I'm gonna sneeze. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. I'm here to answer your questions and sneeze. But this was a super fun event. I love, as anybody who listens to the stream knows, I'm a big film nerd. So I love doing anything in the production space relating to the industry. Enjoy hanging out with my friends at Atlas. Good to see Dan. I had some other friends there who I got to run into. It's always good. But if you've been watching, you know I crashed my car last week. I crashed my car on the way to this. So there is that. Car is not fixed yet. I just need body work, though. That's the good news. No damage to the radiator, no damage to the engine, no damage to anything that is essential for the car to work. It's just the body really got banged up. And the mechanic who I work with, they're not able to locate colored parts in the right color as my car. So I'm gonna probably have a mismatched car with I have a dark blue car, I might have a red hood or something like that. We'll see. Honestly though, I don't mind that. I've always kind of thought that looks a little cool. I know that it's it lowers the value of the car, I know, and it is an obvious sign that I got into some kind of incident at some point, because obviously you don't just do that. But I don't really care too much. I kind of just, as long as it gets me where I need to go, I don't care. Maybe I can wrap it one day so it's all the same color. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. If anybody's just joining the stream, welcome. My name's Nick. Brian's not here today, so it's just me. And I'm here to answer all your questions and give you live discounts. So if you have any questions or want a discount on any product on the store, let me know. You can text me in 747-282-0538. Text that number and it will go to the marketing team, who will give you your exclusive live discount. All you have to do is be a viewer while we're live. Oh gosh, I missed chats. Okay. Rasan says the battery voltage from 98 to 97.3 is 100%. 96.5, 94 is about 98%. Using the Anderson cable as communication is not always the best way, especially when you parallel your batteries. Interesting. Some of the Walruses have an Ethernet that can be used, but I think the G4 Plus does not. Rasan says 94 volt to 92 or so is 94%. 88 volt is about 90%. Look at it this way: your 100 to 0% is 99.4 volts, 100% to 72 volts, 0%. So your range in state of charge is about 27.1 volts. That's a good way of putting it, and I would not have been remotely that helpful. So thank you, Rasan. I hope that helps. And Evangelist, do give a ring to our tech support if you want them to go over it with you as well. They may know some additional information. Response has prominence. What is your AC KCIN parameters in the battery setting? 77% is about what state of charge on the battery. Let them know, guys. Jumping in with the answers, prominence as usual. That's why you got that #1 crown right now. I have it kick in low enough that my solar is producing enough to cover. Makes sense. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. Looking not too bad right now on the stream. We'll see if some more people jump in with some additional questions. Probably keep going for a little bit longer here. We've been going for, and by we I mean I. I'm just saying we out of habit. Been going for almost an hour now. gonna switch up the background visuals though. I've been playing this one for a while. You know what I could do that's crazy? My own live stream is the background of the live stream. That's just, I mean, that's pushing the limits of entertainment. I'll do that for just a little while. Nope. Then I'll find something different. Let's see. There you have it. There you have it. Now I wonder, what's my delay here? I think I'm all caught up. Oh gosh. There we go. All right. So, let me get my chat pulled back up so we can continue here. Nick going meta. Does it matter which port I plug my extension to? Is one specifically in and one specifically out? Yes. I'll show you. Let me pull up some pictures of my Walrus G3. It'll be the one, so basically, you know, you connect your two, those two connectors on the back of the unit to get your inverter and your battery to communicate with each other. Let me find you a picture of exactly, because the port that you need is right next to those on the back. So this right here, if you see, that is the port that you would use to connect your extensions. You'd plug both in and out on your main battery and into here. It doesn't matter which side you plug in of the cable to which, but that port right there is your connection point for the extension batteries. Alright, I'm going to put a regular background now. This is kind of mind-melting. Oh, we got a message retracted. I guess I won't ever know what that one said. Let's do one of our old Walrus hookup videos. We'll do this one today. Alright, so if anybody has questions about hooking up your Walrus, this video is always helpful for me to reference. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. If you guys want Brian to come back, let me know, and I'll gaslight him into coming back early. Okay, I have all three batteries on one inverter now until I finish installing the new panels. Nice. So you got like a nice big system there. Over 60 kilowatt hours then if you got all three hooked up. That's cool. I want to see what the three batteries connected looks like. Oh yeah, prominence. I mean, you should post that. A lot of people are curious about the extension batteries, like folks who are looking into getting one. and just showing what that looks like would be great. I have a few videos where I've done like I've ran like a bunch of our Kong batteries in parallel, but things are kind of all about the walrus these days. So it'll be super cool to see what you're doing. If you prompt this on GPT, you'll get the table Walrus G4 Plus 23 kWh NMC battery, 24 S-Pack voltage versus state of charge. GPT does magical things every day, doesn't it? It's crazy. Like, it's already hard to imagine like pre-AI times, for me at least anyway. I guess it probably is similar to like trying to imagine life before the internet in some ways. I was born in 96, so I grew up with the internet. I'm old enough to remember dial-up, but I'm not old enough to remember not having it. I imagine that it probably feels similar to like AI and like having AI and before AI was a thing. It'll be interesting to see how kids are that grow up with it the way that like my generation did with the internet, because that's just, it'll be something that they never even question, that they have like chat bots who can conversate with them and give them information and finish their work for them. Oh man, we're going into weird times. It's hard to really predict where it's going to go. Who would have thought that we even would have like the level of AI that we have now within like 2 years of when it first launched? But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. And how do you guys feel about AI? What's the Cheesecake Factory Squad's official stance on artificial intelligence? How do you guys feel? If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Proman says, I never use AI. I wish I knew more about it. Well, I mean, easiest place to get started is with GPT. ChatGPT is really easy to use. Ask it questions basically the way you would with like Google or whatever, and it like kind of conversationally responds to you. You can also generate images and stuff with GPT now. But it gets more advanced than that. You can go down the whole rabbit hole. I mean, probably, to be honest, you say your car has grok on it. I was gonna say, to be honest, you probably are using it without knowing it sometimes, because it's getting integrated into everything these days. Manny says, do these streams get more likes with Brian? How dare you, Manny? But probably, yeah. Let's see. It's also, we're not hitting our super, like, it's kind of luck of the draw based on like how many people click the links when we send them out. So sometimes we'll get like rushed with a ton of viewers throughout the stream, either right at the beginning, but today's been fairly slow. It's definitely on the slower end. Like last week's stream had about 400 viewers total. Right now we're at like 50 viewers total. So the likes aren't bad for that many viewers, but it's definitely it's not our hottest stream. Mostly a hang sesh with me and the boys right now. But yeah, I'm willing to give Brian the credit for that. See what happens, Brian, when you're not here. I wonder if he's watching. Definitely not. When I crashed my car, I knew he was streaming, so I like went on to the streams chat to tell him there, because I thought it would be funnier. Do you use Grok in your car though? Like, do you take advantage of that feature, or is it just there? And do you talk to it? Like, because I imagine you don't. I imagine you don't want to type and drive. How's the car situation? It's okay. Overall, it could have been much worse. The internals of, yeah, it is awfully quiet in here today, Randy. Indeed, it's almost like my co-host is invisible and silent. I miss you, Brian. Come back. Yeah, no, car situation is it's better than it could have gone. No damage to like my engine or radiator has been detected. It's just all body, like exterior stuff. I do have to get like my hood and my front bumper replaced, and potentially even the door. So that sucks. But like all in all, it could have been much worse. The parts come fairly cheap, you know. Like, I'm not gonna have matching colors anymore. I'm just gonna get whatever colors I can, because we couldn't find it in the exact blue that my car is. So that is what it is. But the actual parts are only like, you know, 100, 200, sometimes like a couple $100 each. And then the mechanic who I work with is super cool and sometimes charges me too low to the point where I feel the need to pay him more than he asked for, because he always hooks it up too much. So I'm not too worried. It could have been much, much worse, given especially given how my car looks right now. You would think that it was totaled. Need a cardboard cutout to sit in for him. Yeah, actually, I could probably make something digital and put him in here. Might as well, right? If anybody's just joining, welcome to the stream. My name's Nick. I'm making a digital Brian. And if you have any questions about BatteryEVO, ask them in the chat. I am here to answer your questions and give out live deals while I'm live. Only while I'm live, I can give discounted prices on anything on the BatteryEVO store. That's lower than the Labor Day sale that is still in effect, lower than any sale on our site, because it stacks. You'd be stacking the sales on top of each other. So if you want the lowest possible price on a BatteryEVO product, text in my team at 747-282-0538. In the meantime, I'm going to make a digital Brian. You'll see it in a few minutes. See how fast I can do this. I'll keep my eye on the chat, though, in case you guys have any other questions. He would hate this if he saw what I'm about to do. But he chose to vacation, so he doesn't get to give me feedback on this creative choice. Okay. Yep. Okay. What kind of body? He's texting me right now. Maybe he sees what I'm about to do. No. It's unrelated. Okay, let me check the chat, guys. I have 2 golf carts and bought 2 reindeers from BatteryEVO. Should I put both reindeers in cart or spread them out? I would put them both in. I'd put both in. Deal of the day today is Walrus G4. We can give you a really good hookup on the G4. But honestly, if I was going to get a product, I would get the G3 because the G3 is almost out of stock. Like, we're down to our last couple units, and once we sell those, we're not going to have G3s for a while. And we're at we have got them priced so low right now that it's just like it's such a steal for like an all-in-one solar battery unit. It's at such a steal point right now. Let's see. Here we go. Gosh, this is gonna ruin Brian's day when he sees this. PNG with transparent background. Download. Evangeline says sound is good. That's good. Sound isn't always good in here. So yeah, Randy says I have no sound. Randy, I think that is a local problem this time. I don't think that one's on me this time. Bring an image in here. Here we go. So nothing too fancy. Nothing too fancy. It's like I didn't put very much time into this. Oh, big deal. Let's make him little. All right, so my co-host is back. I'll send him a picture of this. Sending him a picture. So Brian, what do you think about the state of charge on the Walrus, buddy? This live stream is so cooked. I should really just end this one, honestly, but here we are. Yeah, one man's descent into madness. I am falling apart right now. Brian says this looks really, really bad. And he's right, it does. Brian is freaking charged, damn. Yeah, no, this is what he actually looks like when he takes his shirt off. Not getting any text. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. I'm going to go talk to the team that's supposed to be answering your text right now and let them know. In the meantime, enjoy Brian. Give Brian a tattoo. That's a good idea. Honestly, I should probably bring in a guest speaker today. Here, I'm going to do some live VFX for you. Make it look like I'm pushing Digi Brian out of the way. Nope. Pushed myself. Ah, this is so cooked. Okay. We got an actual question here. I'm going to remove this image. Interested with Walrus G4 with solar, but cannot talk to anyone, need help. What can I help you with? I'm here to answer your questions on the Walrus G4. We've got the Walrus G3, Walrus G4 Plus, G3 Pro, and Pacific all in stock right now. G3 is running really low, so if anybody wants a G3, pick them up before they're gone. They're going to be gone in the next couple of days. And while we're live streaming, I can answer your questions and offer you exclusive live discounts. So only while this stream is going, those discounts don't work anymore once the stream ends. But if you are looking to get a G4 and we're looking to get it today, do it while I'm still live by texting in the number 747-282-0538, and it'll be an even lower price than what you see online. If you have any question about the G4 though, let me know. I'll help you out. You've come to the right place. Please check Bill's question above. Yeah, Bill's question about the text. I did go talk to our team. They are monitoring your text, so you guys should be getting responses. If I missed another Bill question, though, no, I think I got it. Yeah, we are responding to the text. I just went and double checked. Great with this system. Is it all I need, or what else would I need for the complete off-grid system? Okay, that's a great question. So the G4 Plus has your battery on the bottom, so about this darker part of the unit, that's the battery itself at 23 kilowatt hours of capacity. And then up here is your inverter. So usually you would have to buy a battery and an inverter separately, but the Walrus is all in one, so it has everything you need. However, in order to go fully off-grid, you will need solar panels as well, which we sell our solar bundle with the Walrus. So if you're looking to get everything in one stop, you can get your panels from us. Now, we sell our panels at wholesale, meaning we don't mark them up. We get them from a distributor at a low price and then just sell them to you guys at that price. That's so that we can incentivize the battery sales. We're not really looking to profit off our panels. So if you need panels as well, it's a cheap way to get them is to bundle them up with your battery. And the only other thing you'd need is a sub panel. So if you want to go fully off grid, you want to have a sub panel on your house that's separate from your main electric panel. I'll pause where you can see it. So that configuration would look something like this. So you'd have, let me actually lower it a little bit so you can see the panels too. Okay, so in this illustration, you see we've got the Walrus here, and then you have your main panel right here and your sub panel here. So if this is your main electric panel that's already on your house, you would just install a generator port to it and have a cable running from your Walrus into it or out of it, depending on what you want to do. You actually shouldn't run your power from your Walrus into your main grid, so scratch that. You should run your power out of your main grid into your Walrus to charge it if you want to do grid tied. But your sub panel, that's for taking your power from the Walrus. So it's a separate electrical panel that you can put breakers on for either your whole home or just the parts of it that you know you want to take off grid, and put a generator port on that as well. And then you'd run your 50 amp extension cable from your Walrus into that sub panel, and that's how you power your home. The reason you want it on a sub panel is because it is separate from your main grid. That means it won't be tracked and regulated, and you won't get charged for it, because you don't want to get charged for energy use that you have generated with your panels. So all you really need is your Walrus, a sub panel with a generator port on your home, and solar panels, and you can go 100% off the grid or at least mostly off the grid, depending on the size of your home and how many panels you have. Now, if you have any questions about panels, how many you'd need, things like that, let me know. It helps to know about like how much of your house you want to take off grid, what appliances you're using, such as like the size of your AC, maybe the square footage of your home, things like that. And I can give you some more advice. But I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. I have everything on my sub panel except dryer and microwave. Not bad. I feel dryer would be a good one to have on there though, depending on the ability to take the load. But I that's usually not the biggest power draw in the house. Usually the biggest power draw in the house is the AC. Yeah, and you say make sure to have a soft start for your AC, works great. Always recommend that. That's a great addition. Soft start, always recommended. So I would add that to your shopping cart as well. That helps your Walrus mitigate the high power draw when your AC kicks on. It's good for the health of your battery and your inverter. Thank you. I need about 16K to 19K a day. So I assume you're talking about kilowatt hours. If you need that much, then just one Walrus will be good. In fact, I would say your Walrus G4 Plus is probably your best pick overall because it's got a slightly higher power inverter than the G3. However, with that amount of capacity needs, a G3 would cover your needs as well. It's really just about making sure you have the soft start on it so that it's not overwhelmed by your AC. Would your 8 solar panels be enough to get? Yeah, 8 solar panels would be plenty. What's the size of your home in rough estimate square footage, just so I can make sure? But almost always 8 solar panels is going to be enough to fully charge the Walrus on a sunny day. Just depends on your area and stuff. So it'll charge up the Walrus for sure. And if you're using that amount of capacity that you mentioned, you should be good. So I would say 8 solar panel kit plus your Walrus G4 would be everything you need from us. Then it would just be a matter of getting your sub panel, generator port, and soft start from third parties. If you need recommendations, either me or the lovely folks in the chat would, I'm sure, be happy to recommend some stuff to you. And if you want to get that best possible deal on that G4 Plus solar kit, text in at 747-282-0538. That's that number at the bottom of the screen, right below the chat on the bottom right corner. My team on the marketing side is responding to your text. They will give you a custom quote. Make sure they know you're coming from the live stream because that's how you get the best. Discount. 3,500 square foot. Yeah, well, you got a nice size house, but if you're using about 16 to 19, then you're going to be totally fine with the G4 Plus and the 8 panels. That'll be a great setup for you. And then you'll just want to get the additional materials I mentioned and find an electrician to hook up that sub panel and port for you if you're not a DIYer. When is the app update happening? Update should be happening soon. I just confirmed with them earlier on the stream. I sent a message out asking them, and they said they confirmed it is still work in progress, but we'll be getting the new SDK file soon. So you should be seeing an update, hopefully any day now. But I'll be sure to keep you guys updated, and feel free to ask whenever. I'll let you know where it's at. Currently have 6 360 amp hour plus 12.4 amp battery. Can I add these to your Walrus G4? I don't think so. The Walrus should really only be paired with Walrus extension batteries. We don't recommend pairing up batteries other than the Walrus batteries because it's like relating to how they communicate and stuff like that. So do you already have if you have these batteries, do you already have like a sub panel and stuff set up, or how are you using these batteries? Because I'm sure there's still good ways to put them to use. In fact, they're about 360 amp hours. Do you know the kilowatt hour capacity on those? Because what you could always do is, how can I talk to your staff and mention about your discount? So just text them in, send a text message to this number, 747-282-0538. I'll drop it in the chat there for you. Just send them a text letting them know you want G4 Plus bundle with 8 panels and that you are coming from the live. You could literally just copy paste that out if you want. They'll know. They'll be able to know what it means. But yeah, just send a text to that number. Let them know you're coming from the live. Let them know that you are looking for that product, and they will give you the discounted price. So we already have Labor Day sale in effect, and they will drop even lower than that. So definitely recommend taking advantage of that today if you can. Bill says, I see that your batteries have a 10-year warranty. Is there a warranty on the inverter and the rest of the Walrus? That I don't actually know. Thanks, I tried to text, but for some reason it blocked. What's your region? What region are you in? Let me get you another solution because I want to make sure that you can get your battery. Let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna go. We have an additional phone that you can text to get the quote. Let me just get the number on that so I can give it to you. Okay, I am back. California. Yeah, that's weird that you were blocked in California. But I got a new number for you. So text or call, either one, whatever you prefer, this number. This will go right to our sales manager. And I told him to expect a call from you or a text about that G4 plus the solar panel bundle, and told him to make sure that he gives you that live stream discount. So here you go. That's 818-337-0929. You can text or call that number, and they will give you your YouTube quote. And that's a California number, so you should be good. Thanks for your patience there. But that's weird. We've never had an issue with people not being able to reach us through the 747 number. If anybody else tries to reach us at the 747 number and it doesn't go through, let me know, because that's never happened before. Thank you. No, of course, thank you. I mean, it's just doing my job. Um, if I won the Powerball, I'd buy a Komodo. If I won the Powerball, I would buy a whole lot of stuff. If I won the Powerball, I mean, I'd get a home. Right now I rent, so it'd be nice to own a home. Is the G4 really 2K off? Yeah, with the current Labor Day sale, you are getting a $2,000 discount off of that MSRP. Ask for a deal on extension batteries. I have 2 batteries. That's 23 kilowatt times 2. Yeah, I mean, honestly, so here's the thing. As we know, we make our products in batches based on demand. So, for example, we're about to sell out of the G3s. Those G3s are probably going to be sold out before the end of the week. And when we sell out of one, that includes the extension batteries too. So if you want to get extensions, it's always a good idea to get them when you get them up front if you think you're going to want them, but you could always wait and get an extension later. It just depends on whether we've sold out at that time or not. Any solution for my 6 brand new batteries for addition? I don't think that you can add them directly to your Walrus. That's not recommended, especially if we don't know the voltages on them. But what you can do is potentially, this is what I would do if I had those extra batteries. I would get an additional inverter for them. Either just make sure the inverter's voltage matches those batteries. But I'd get a new inverter and potentially run those batteries grid tied. So if you're doing solar for your Walrus, you could be doing grid tied charging with the additional ones. Oh yeah, 12 volts. Yeah, 12 volts won't be compatible with the Walrus. That I can tell you for sure. The Walrus is depending on which one you get, you're either getting a 48 volt or a 72 volt system. G4, I believe, is 72 volt system. So those won't be compatible, unfortunately. So yeah, what I would recommend doing is getting a inverter, a 12 volt inverter for those specifically, and either use those to charge your grid power, or you could always run more solar into those and just have backup storage. The unfortunate part is that you would need a new inverter in order to utilize that, and then at that point you're basically building yourself a DIY Walrus adjacent system. Do you know the kilowatt hour on do you know the kilowatt hour capacity total on those? Like how many kilowatt hours total you're getting with all of them? Because that would be helpful to know as well, as far as like what you're capable of doing with those batteries. There's a way to convert them to higher voltage, but you got to know what you're doing. I suggest building a smaller system as a backup or sell them. Yeah, that's exactly what I was suggesting too, is building a smaller backup system just to have it. Or yeah, selling them is always an option. Just buy a cheap inverter. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Get a cheap 12 volt inverter and just DIY hook them up together, and then you'd have an extra system. 18 kilowatt hour. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a little less than the Walrus's capacity, but that's still a nice capacity. Yeah, I mean, my recommendation with those would be exactly the same as what Evangelist said, which is to get a cheap 12 volt inverter and build yourself a second backup system. That way you can charge it up either with your grid or with your solar, or both, depending on what kind of inverter you get. And then you'd have like backup on your backup. So like if you're in an outage situation and you're using the Walrus and the Walrus depletes, you have a backup, and so on and so forth. Or you could just sell them. But yeah, that does seem like a little bit of a headache having to deal with those extra batteries. What is my favorite soda? Isn't one of the Mountain Dews have like voltage in it? I was gonna say that, like, just for the joke, for the battery joke, but in reality, I like Dr. Pepper. I'm a Dr. Pepper fan. Yeah, I'm not a big soda drinker though. To be honest, I don't drink soda too often. I drink a lot of sparkling water though. A lot of like LaCroix and bubbly and all that stuff. Not a sponsor, but yeah, I do drink a lot of sparkling water to the point where my wife is like, Nick, you need to drink some real water also. Live wire. Now, who here remembers LimeWire? Shout out to my mid 2000s, early 2010s pirates. Batteries have a 10-year warranty on them, but what about the rest of the items like the inverter in reality? How much does it cost to replace the inverter board in the G4 Plus? If you have issues with it, I don't know if the inverter board is specifically covered in the warranty, so I don't want to say yes or no on that. I haven't read through the warranty on that specific part of it. However, I have seen people ship in their inverters before for repair, and we've shipped them back no problem, and I don't think we charge for that either. In fact, Prominence, didn't we help you with your inverter recently? I believe we just replaced it altogether for you. Let me see if I can find some warranty details on, right now. Now we got it somewhere on here. It says for battery cell failure. Replace your battery cells, cover shipping costs, tier 1 cells, all cells from BatteryEVO along with all included accessories for the initial 30 days. So maybe the inverter and accessories like that are only 30 days after? Don't need to register. You got your QR, returning accessories. Warranty, battery misuse. So I do know, I know that if you change ports on your inverter, that can void the warranty. Like if you DIY'd changed out your MPPT port on it for a different one, that would void the warranty. So with that, I would think that the warranty must include the inverter if you're able to void it by changing the inverter. They should probably be very clear on the wording though, because everything is battery, but we do have the inverter. So I want to say it's covered. I think we covered it for Prominence recently. Okay. 0 landfill policy. Let me check up on the chat, see if I missed anything from you guys. Inverter died. I called customer support. They coordinated shipping it back and sent me a new one. I didn't pay anything out of pocket. Yeah, so we do. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure, because like I said, I hate it when I answer a question and then later discover that I was wrong. So that's why I wanted to open up the warranty and double check. But yeah, I did recall that we had just honored the inverter for Prominence, and just replaced it all together, because Prominence had purchased maybe about 2 months or so, and then had an inverter problem unexpectedly, and so we just replaced it all together. Sent them out a new one. That's not how the website's supposed to look. There we go. Yeah, thanks for answering that, Prominence. I appreciate you chiming in and confirming. I thought that that was the case. It's just, like I said, I just wanted to be sure. So many tabs. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. I'll be streaming for just a little bit longer. Oh, Evangelist, we covered it for you too. Well, I guess there you have it. The Cheesecake Factory squad has confirmed, and for those of you who don't know, the Cheesecake Factory squad is just what we call our viewers who are in here every day. Because one day we're going to take them out to Cheesecake Factory. Feng Mai says, from my previous experience, I suggest transfer switch for the install in case something goes wrong. That's a good idea. That's never a bad idea to have the transfer switch. Always, like, that and like a soft starter are always safe recommendations to make. That'll always improve your system. But yeah, so Prominence, Evangelist, thanks for confirming that your warranty covered your inverter. So it's not just me speculating. By reading the warranty, we can know that we got real people who've done it with their lived experience. Definitely get lightning protection and surge protection for your solar array and electrical panel. Yeah, so that's what happened with your situation, if I remember correctly. Prominence had a lightning strike, which set them back a little bit. That's why we had to help out with the inverter replacement. I mean, that's a totally that's what are you supposed to do about that? I mean, I know you could get like protection and stuff and surge protection, but still, I mean, that's about as far out of your hands as it can get. Welcome for anybody just joining the stream. My name's Nick. Been streaming to you guys for maybe an hour and a half now, give or take, and I'll be going just a little bit longer. I end my day here at 5. It's like about 4:30 right now, but that gives me some time to answer more of your questions and help you guys get set up. And if anybody's joining who's interested in getting a BatteryEVO product for yourself, you've come at a good time. We've got the Labor Day sales going on right now. As well as the live stream discount that you can only get from me. That's 747-282-0538. You can text in that number. Just tell them that you're coming from the live stream. It's only active while I'm live, so when this live stream ends, that deal won't be available anymore. It'll be an extra discount on any product on the BatteryEVO store, even in addition to that Labor Day sale, which for products like the G3, the Labor Day sale is already so crazy low that I'm surprised they're even letting me give you an extra discount from the YouTube Live. G3 in particular is like lowest price it's ever been. So if you're interested in something like that and want the live stream discount on top, be sure to text in, take advantage of that while I'm live, and ask me anything, any question you guys have about BatteryEVO, our products, what it's like to go off the grid, how you might get started if you're at the very beginning. Any of those questions are fair game, and you guys are lucky because you got the best audience in the chat right now. I mean, pretty much every member of the regular crew is here right now, and they are all very knowledgeable about going off grid and solar and DIY projects. So between me and them, we can take care of any question that you guys have. And you just wait till Brian comes back. He can go Professor Brian on you guys. I don't know if anybody. We used to have a different. We used to work out of a different office building, and at that time we didn't have the full like green screen studio that we use now. We just like kind of filmed at our desks in the main office space. And back then, Brian had a whiteboard, and what he would do sometimes is like pull out the whiteboard and like literally draw out diagrams and write down the numbers and do the math, like old school, no calculator. And I always called that him going Professor Brian mode or substitute teacher Brian, whichever fit better that day. If you guys want that, we can get Brian a whiteboard in here. I know he loves doing that. The cool thing is I could easily switch back to normal power setup while I was without my backup. That's good. Yeah, I mean, the Walrus setup is very non-invasive to your home, whereas like if you do have to disconnect or anything, like you're not going to have issues doing that. It also makes it easy that if you move, you can just bring it with you fairly easily. It's not like mounted to your wall. It doesn't have to be like a bunch of insane work to get it off the wall and disconnect it and stuff. You just unplug it and then set up a new sub panel at your new place and just plug it right in. If anybody else has any other questions, let me know. Hope you guys are all having a good afternoon. It's getting to be evening for a lot of you guys on the East Coast. I've had a pretty decent day. Can't really complain. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. If we don't have too many more new questions, I may start to wind the stream down soon. Is there a way you can boost solar panel or solar power at night when the sun goes down? Do you mean like, are you asking if you can charge at night, or are you asking about using that power at night? Let me know. I'm not sure I fully understand what you're asking. Because, by the way, you should open my box before the live stream. Okay, got it. That'll be on Friday. I know we'll be live on Friday, and I will make sure that Brian is back in town for that. But yeah, we'll do. We will not unbox on stream. Copy that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how to answer your question. Boosting the solar power at night when the sun goes down. Because once the sun is gone, unfortunately, you won't be able to charge. But during those last few hours that the sun's setting, maybe you could adjust the angle towards the west to get more direct sunlight from that. And one thing that always helps, I'm sure you guys are on top of this, but clean your solar panels. They will collect dust and dirt and debris over time, and you'd be surprised how much of a difference that can make as far as how much power you're getting. People will sometimes buy all these panels and be like, I'm not, after a year or two, like it's like they're not working anymore. My panels are bad. Promises my question was a joke. See, you had me actually trying to like give you genuine advice. I had a feeling, but I'm not gonna. If there's anybody who is always gonna get my full honest consideration, it's you. But yeah. That's a good one. I was like, that threw me for a loop because I was like, Prominence knows better than this. um, how long would it take to fully charge the G? Oh, Sardar. He walked by right as. How long would it take to charge a G3 with 4,000 solar input? If you're getting full sunlight, I want to say that would probably take about 8 hours, but let me text an engineer and get a double check. In fact, I hear them. Give me 1 sec, I'll ask. All right. Not only did I get the answer to the question, but I got the cheat code on how to do the math on that question. So, how long would it take to fully charge G3 with 4,000 solar input? You'd take your 22,000 watts that the G3 has, because you have 22 kilowatt hours. So you take your 22,000, divide that by the 4,000, and you end up with 5.5. So according to my engineer, you get about 5.5 hours to charge up, to fully charge if you're getting full sunlight. Fong Mai says whole day. I mean, that was my initial guess too. My initial answer was about 8 hours would have been my estimate, but it does depend on factors like your weather. So I think the equation that was given to me just now by the engineer is assuming that you have full sunlight. Do you sell all the other connection accessories like the sub-panel connection? No, we do not sell sub-panels. We do not sell generator ports or soft starts or those accessories. We just sell the battery and inverter and solar panels. However, I believe on the product page for each product you can find some recommendations, and if you're looking for recommendations on sub-panel and stuff like that, I know that the guys in this chat can help you because they have done similar builds in their homes. But typically, a lot of the time, you can also like hit up an electrician and let them know you need a sub-panel installed, and they can handle acquiring it for you. You just got to be careful of make sure it's an electrician that you trust so that they're not marking you up too much. But no, unfortunately, we do not sell the sub-panels and generator ports ourselves. We manufacture and sell the batteries and inverters and bundle them up with panels. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. It's been a good stream. Thanks to everybody who's joined so far. Thank you guys for liking the stream. I saw some likes come in throughout, so thank you for that. Yeah, I see a couple more have jumped in since the last time. Okay. Yeah, we've been asked that before. I think it would be, in theory, good if we sold the sub panels and stuff too, but alas. Solar panel video. I bought those accessories from Home Depot and Amazon. Do you stress test on the 50 amp continuous? All of the features and functionalities of the Walrus batteries get thoroughly tested before they get sent out, so yes. all of the specs that you find on our site and all that, those are all built off of the stress tests and quality checks that we've done in the manufacturing and design process, and then each individual product is also tested and quality checked before leaving our headquarters. What do you think, guys? Not too bad. Not too bad for a Brian-less stream. I know that it would be better if Brian was here with me, but you know, we're holding it down. I got the squad in here. We're having a good time. Can't wait to watch the Prominence solar install. I know, Prominence, you've been killing it lately. If you keep it up, you're gonna end up being you're gonna make a splash in the solar space. You're gonna hit that niche. I mean, generally speaking, my experience with social media of any kind, because I don't only run things for our social, I have experience with a lot of pages and brands and different niches and audiences, and like everything from product-based stuff like this and even like entertainment-based stuff. It's just a matter of time. If you stay consistent and post regularly and make a constant, like regular effort to make content and connect with your audience, it is only a matter of time. Eventually something's going to break through. You might not go viral, but you will break through and get enough views that you can then build an audience off of it. It's just about staying consistent, and you're very knowledgeable and you're putting a lot of effort into your videos. They're very thorough, so I think if you keep it up, I've noticed some of them, like especially your walrus review has already spiked up in views. Just keep it up. You're gonna for sure feel that over time, and it's like a snowball effect. The more you do it, the more it grows, because you'll get subscribers over time from videos that you posted like a year ago sometimes, and it's all about consistency. It's the best advice I could give you. I've had posts on like various platforms that have like millions of views, like 6 million views, you know, things like that, that get tons of followers, and it's like those posts came literally after like weeks of posting to only 200 view videos. It's just stay consistent and the algorithm will reward you eventually. Why did the G4 Plus get a darker gray? I liked it, but now one of my batteries is light gray and two are dark gray. Yeah, that was an aesthetic choice. I guess they didn't really consider in how it would look for people like you who are matching up with over time. But yeah, that was really just, there's no particular reason other than they just thought it would look a little nicer to go darker gray on that batch. I've added 25 followers on YouTube. Yeah, and you'll keep that up, dude. I mean, you never know. You really never know what it's gonna be. The Minuteman Solar video that he dropped, his like G3 review, ended up being his most viewed video on his channel, and none of us, not even him, could really say for sure why. I think it's just because it was a really well produced G3 review, and there was a demand for the G3 review because at the time there wasn't too much out there on it from like a customer standpoint. It was a lot of like my marketing, so I think he had the benefit of being like the first like long form G3 review that hit YouTube, and so he got all that search traffic. But I'd say keep it up, and just like Prominence, you do a lot of cool DIY stuff. It's not just your solar stuff that you do. You have a lot of projects that you're doing. Go educational. The best thing you can do is like explain to people what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, because the audience members that are looking for that will stay and watch the whole thing. And one of the most important things for YouTube's algorithm right now on success of a video and a channel is how long people stick around. You know, it's one thing to get a 1,000 views. It's another thing to get 1,000 views of people who watched all 10 minutes. YouTube treats that very differently. So I'd say go very thorough and educational with your information, and the people who are looking for that will stay. I mean, think about like the streams, for example. When we answer these questions, stuff, you guys are looking for this information. You guys enjoy discussing this information, this topic, so you stay for a while. It's the same thing. Just give people like something to chew on, you know? They sent you a G4 battery, which is the same 23 kilowatt hours. Yep. And just so you guys know, the difference in the G3 and G4's capacity is only 1 kilowatt hour. The bigger difference is in the inverter and the voltage. Now, there's no real reason you'd want to go one voltage over another. It's just about system compatibility, chemistry, things like that. If anybody's just joining, ask me questions. I'm probably going to be wrapping up fairly soon. We're getting close to our time here. But any questions, let me know, whether it's just about BatteryEVO as a whole, our Walrus units, any of our products I can help you out with. Going off grid, how to get started, what kind of panel configuration will work for your home, all that stuff. We can answer your questions. We got some experts in the chat too who are here to help you out as well, who join us almost every time. And I mean, some of you are here every time, which I very much am appreciative of. I love seeing you guys here. Think about how lonely this would be if you guys weren't here. I would just be sitting here talking 100% to myself. But yeah, we got experts in the chat. I'm here. Ask us questions. We'll help you out. And while I'm live streaming, and only while I'm live streaming, you can text me in at 747-282-0538 for live discounts. The way that works is we have our Labor Day sale going right now, for example, on the site. But you can take any single product on the store, take its Labor Day sale, and we'll drop it even lower just for you being a live stream viewer. All you have to do is text in and say you're coming from the live, and tell us what product you want, and you are eligible for that discount. We've helped a couple people out today already. Usually Brian would be sitting right next to me answering those texts on stream and answering questions with me, but Brian is not back from his trip yet. He had a long weekend getaway. Much deserved. He works very hard. So just me today, but your texts will be answered. The marketing staff is in the other room answering those texts this afternoon for us. So if you want that live discount, text us in. A little recap here. We've had a lot of chats this afternoon. You can see we've had some nice long conversations, which is great. Thanks everybody for giving me stuff to talk about. And if the chat doesn't really brighten back up soon, we'll probably be ending sooner rather than later, but I always like to give you guys a chance because you never know when someone's going to come in and drop a banger. It happens. There's been times where we're about to end, and then all of a sudden that's when we get all our best questions, so you never know. Where are the promised stickers? I'll check on that. I did send the request, so let me make sure that those got in the mail. I have a 30 kilowatt solar split into 2 systems, and each side going into 3 Powerwall 2. Very cool. How long have you had that system in place, William? Prominent says, my house uses between 30 and 45 kilowatt hours a day. My G4 handles it like a champ. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I think that's a common potential misconception is people will see the amount of battery or the amount of kilowatt hour that they're using a day and think that their battery system has to match that. Okay. You've had it for about a year. Do you need more reserves? So 30 kilowatts of solar split into 2 systems, so 15 kilowatts going into each of 3 Powerwall 2s. And the Powerwall 2s, if I remember correctly, are somewhere around 15 kilowatt hours. So you're looking at 45 kilowatt hours on each side. So you got a total of 9, if I'm not wrong here, you got a total of 90 kilowatt hours. That's a lot of capacity. are you using your off-grid system to do EV charging and stuff like that? Because you say you're using the batteries all throughout the night. Do you deplete them? Do you run out of that capacity by the end of the night, or are you just using them? Okay, so having the EV charger, that explains it. I figured if you have that high of a capacity, you must be doing the EV charging. If you're depleting by the middle of the night, I would suggest getting some additional backup. However, because if you want to be fully off grid, then you got to have enough battery to store everything that you plan on using. However, I don't know if because our batteries are very, very affordable. That's like one of the main reasons people come to us, is that we've got the best price per storage on the market as far as low cost to the consumer. So what I would say is you might want to either have a third system that uses BatteryEVO products, such as the Walrus Pacific. The Walrus Pacific is a 62 kilowatt hour system that can be paralleled. Oh, you're grid connected. I see. Okay. Then, a couple things on that. I would recommend going solar if you can and haven't, because that'll help a lot without the need for new batteries. And then the other thing, I would either move your power walls all into one system and use the second system as a BatteryEVO station with products like our Pacific. You can put this 62 kilowatt hour battery with its inverter and then get an extension of just an additional battery, and you'll have over 120 kilowatt hours of storage there for a much lower cost than the 6 power walls. So if you ever need to really just go big on your capacity, that would be the best way to do it. Have 30 kilowatts solar split. Okay. I got it. So I would recommend getting a sub panel so that you can fully go off grid with that energy if you don't have it already. And what you could be doing on top of your solar is using your time of use with grid connection. But it sounds like your main problem is that you're depleting that battery usage overnight of your power walls. So in that situation, and chat, feel free to jump in and help William out with me too if you guys have any other input. But my suggestion would be to get a additional system of our large capacity batteries like the Pacific. And if you want that, if I haven't already explained the deals while you're on, basically I'm here to answer all your questions, but while I'm live streaming, and I'll only be streaming for another 10 minutes or so, but while I'm streaming, you can text in the number at the bottom of the screen, 747-282-0538. Tell them that you're coming from the live stream and what product you want, and you will get an extra discount on top of our current Labor Day sales. So that's the way to get the lowest possible price, but it's only while I'm live. So if you're not ready to get that price today, then maybe don't, but yeah, you would text it. Emailed you a cutout for Brian to use. Okay, I'm gonna have to grab that and do that before this is over. Mel says, bangin' deal for a 72 volt LifePo battery for a Falcon 2000 4-seater. Okay. We might, if we haven't changed since last week, I think we were out of stock on our 72 volt cart batteries. Let me check. I know that we have the 72 volt Falcon battery, but that was out of stock. Yeah, I think we're out of stock on all our 72 volt cart batteries. It's a shame because literally between you and a couple viewers last week, there's been a lot of questions about the 72 volt golf cart batteries recently. So apologies that we do not have that in stock right now. Yeah, wish that we had one for you to buy. But yeah, if you need any home batteries or any other system, let me know. If you have any other questions, let me know. In the meantime, let's see about this cutout of Brian. Did you make this yourself? Did you spend your own limited time on this. Oh gosh, it's me. All right, I'll drop it in there. I have to. Wow. I mean, yours is better than mine. You're the only company that has the right dimensions that will fit this car bay. Ugh, that sucks because we are out of stock on those. Tell you what, Mel, if you text us in, you can text us in at the number. This is the number that's usually used to give out the live discounts, but just text them in, say that you're coming from the live, but tell them, describe your problem to them, say that we're the only company that has the 72 volts that fit your car, because that's good to know. Maybe they have something in the back. Maybe they have like some used units or something that have been shipped back or something like that. It's always, I would text them, see if they can check for you. Maybe there's something they can get for you. If not, at the very least, they'd be able to put you on a waiting list or even give you a pre-order link if you ask for one. I think they can do that. So I would text them in and let them know what you're dealing with and see how they can help you out. William, I saw you dropped a message and then retracted it, so I'll keep my eye out, see if you jump back in with that one. I gotta pull up Manny's image here because Manny went through all this effort. Mel says, thank you. Of course, yeah, sorry that we're currently out of stock. We sold out on those recently, but I want to make sure that you got yourself taken care of, especially if we're the only solution. So this is Manny's handiwork. As you can see, that's me, and it's not photoshopped at all. If anything, I'd say that this version of me is maybe looking a little like, I don't know, a little out of shape compared to how I actually look in real life. Oh, Manny, what have you done? This is good. This is very good and productive. My bosses will love that I'm doing this. Okay. Let me just real quick step out so you guys, anybody who wants to screenshot this can screenshot it. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to screenshot it if you are so inclined. And then I got to answer your questions. Okay. So we had our fun. William says, can I use a large Pacific at the yes, you can. With the system you're already using, I'm not sure if you could parallel that in with your Powerwall. Again, we usually recommend against paralleling our systems directly into other systems because there's things like the battery communication that we haven't tested between Powerwall and our system, and like voltage might not match. So I would say don't get a Walrus Pacific and then plug it right into your Powerwalls. You'd probably want to find a way to route them into either their own sub panel or around the Powerwalls, but you wouldn't want to, from what I understand, you wouldn't want to plug your Walrus directly into your Powerwall. They don't work as like a one-to-one extension battery. You'd kind of have to build like your own system with it that is its own thing. However, it's a lot cheaper to do that than to get a bunch of new Powerwalls. And no wait list either. I know there's a wait list for those Powerwalls. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'm going to be wrapping up fairly soon here. See a fair amount of you guys in the chat right now, though, so I don't want to leave you all hanging. So ask me anything while we're still going, and let me know what product you need to get that discount before I end it. 747-282-0538. And Manny, I love that your email subject line was just for when Brian is alone. And that picture, you could read that more than one way. I'm going to get a way to add batteries to my system on one way or another. That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, you don't want to have to go and make a whole new system. I understand that for sure. I mean, guys in the chat, if you have any ideas for William on how they should approach this situation, let me know, because they need more capacity, and we certainly have the battery capacity to, get them what they need for an inexpensive cost. But if they're trying to route that into their Powerwall system, I'm a little bit at a loss. So if you guys have any suggestions for William, feel free to chime in. What would you do if you were in their shoes? Prominence says, we appreciate you. Thanks, Prominence. Brian and I appreciate you as well. He's grid tied, just needs more solar. Well, I guess that's a good point, William. Are you filling up, are your current Powerwalls getting to full capacity and then being drained all the way down at night? Like, are you getting them all the way to the top and then all the way to the bottom every single day and night? More solar does not work. Okay. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, there is at a certain point, Prominence says sell the Powerwall and go all EVOs. Honestly, that's a more time-consuming answer, but it's not a bad answer. And I don't just say that because I am a BatteryEVO. I'm just because I'm the face of BatteryEVO today. But like in theory, that could be profitable. It's a good idea. I overproduce 80 a day during the day. Okay, so yeah, you don't need more solar. It's just the battery. Matthew says, long-time lurker, first-time poster. Welcome, and thanks for being a long-time lurker. Thanks for commenting. Just ordered another battery for my Walrus G3. Is it as simple as plugging in the new battery to the BE175 port on the G3? You got it. You'll have your included cable, and all you got to do is plug one side in to that port on the G3 on the back by where those connections are. Backside bottom. She'll pull up a picture just to show you exactly where, but you do have it correct. And then you'll plug it into the same port on the other side with your battery. It doesn't matter which end of the cable. So just right there. Prominent says you want the charge about the same, but yes. Yeah, that's a good point. Always good to reference that. And with that, guys, it is about 5 o'clock. It is time for me to wrap up. One last call. If you're looking for a discount, text in now, 747-282-0538. Just let them know what product you're looking for and that you're coming from the live stream, and you will get the deal. Matthew Murdy, thank you for commenting for the first time. I appreciate knowing that you've been watching us for a while. So good to know that. You are on your way to the Cheesecake Factory squad if you keep it up. State of charge for each battery should also be close to each other. For sure. All right, guys, I gotta run. It's my time, but thank you to everybody who's joined. Thank you for everybody who liked the stream, and big thank you to everybody who texted in to buy a battery today. Welcome to your new off-grid life. We'll see you next time.